something else. I think he's properly before us, and he has given us his documents here. I'll want to ask the legal to administer, that he signs and administer the oath before we proceed.
I, Wilson Sossion, do swear that the information I shall give before the committee on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
So, thank you, members. The candidate before us has been positively identified as Wilson Sossion, the nominee member for the position of Commissioner Teacher Service Commission. So we'll start first by introducing ourselves. I'll ask the legal officer to go through the documents, and you can circulate them. And thereafter, Sossion will check and make sure you'll return all your original documents. You check them before you leave, is it? So we'll start with introductions. Let's start with introducing, this is the Committee of Education, and we are actually doing what we call approvals, hearings, or vetting of the candidates as by the laws of the Constitution and the Approval Act of the National Assembly. So let's introduce ourselves. Let me start from member for Teso South, introductions.
Good morning. My name is Mary Emase, MP Teso South, and a member of this committee.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebecca Tonkei, MP Narok County, and a member of this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Taitum Julius is my name, MP Gembe North.
Abdul Haro, MP Mandera South, and a member of this committee.
Christine Ombaka, MP Siaya, a member of this committee.
Cherusha Mamany, MP Nyamira, a member of this committee.
Joseph McLeod, Member of Parliament, Baringo North, and a member of this committee.
Molly Morero, MP Kibra, member of the committee.
Gisai Rombane, Member of Parliament, Kitutu Masaba, and a member of this committee.
Nabwera Nabi, MP Lugari, and a member of the committee.
Secretariat.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Douglas Kato. I'm the head of the Secretariat for Education Committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Robert Langat, Clerk Assistant.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Pauline Juguna, Hansard Reporter.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Dr. Mboro Maina, Research Officer to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. Ridho Brenda, Research Assistant.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Anne Kangede, Administrative Officer.
Thank you, Chair. Munjuru Githunguri, Legal Counsel.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Brian Ojama from PBU. We'll be covering this session live.
From our parliamentarians, thank you.
Danton Kimtai, Audio Officer.
Thank you. Anyone else?
No, Chairman, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you. So, and I'm Julius Melly, Member of Parliament Tindet and the Chair of the committee. Members of the fourth estate, welcome. We are pleased that you are here. And I know most of you, we are covering this live, so it's good that members get to know this. So, Wilson, welcome to the vetting approval process. You know it is a constitutional and legal requirement for candidates to go through this process before you are actually appointed. First, I need to note or bring to your attention that the rules of this particular engagement has to be very clearly. First of all, we are not doing any applause within. Two, we are also saying that Honorable Sossion, if questions are asked, you will note them down and you'll be able to answer them through the chair, not through members. And thereafter, when we've finished this particular process, any member who has, if any document is missing, we shall actually give you time to file it before the secretariat within a very reasonable time. And finally, we'll give you time for your concluding remarks. So I will just ask you, we'll give members to ask you at least one question each, and then thereafter we will be able to release you. Before that, I want to note that you were invited on 3rd of August, is it? By the clerk of the National Assembly. And in that invitation, the clerk indicated to you that you were to be vetted on 11th of August 2026 at 10 a.m. But due to court issues that came on, there was a conservatory order from the court in Kirinyaga. We abided by the court, and we actually had to seek the lifting of those conservatory orders as the National Assembly, which was done. In the letter that we gave you, we did ask you that you need to bring along the originals of the following, which we have ascertained: a letter from Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Kenya Revenue Authority, Higher Education Loans Board, Director of Criminal Investigation, Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, the Commission for University Education, and a Credit Reference Bureau clearance. And you are to give that. So I've checked through the documents, and all of them, you have abided by that. And you know, Chapter 6 of the Constitution requires you to have all that. So as a chair of the committee, you are suitably and properly ready for vetting. So my questions is this: Wilson, give us your full names, who are you, and give us briefly your family background, your education, and the positions you've held in the society.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Wilson Sossion, a teacher by training and by profession. I'm a family man and a proud father of 5 children, and my education background is quite extensive. I've attended schools in Kenya and post-school training in Kenya, and my training as a teacher is at Egerton University. I trained as a diploma teacher for agriculture and chemistry, and that's agricultural education, and later trained at KU and attained a Bachelor of Education, Science, Botany and Chemistry. Then did my master's at Moore University, Executive Masters in Education Leadership, and I'm currently concluding my Doctor of Philosophy in Education Leadership at Kenya Methodist University. And in my working career, my work has basically been teaching, and I taught in a number of schools, but under TSC, I taught at St. Teresa Girls Marakwet, and finally at Tenwek Boys High School. And in 2001, I was elected to serve on full-time basis in the trade union movement as an executive secretary in North Bomet, and eventually rose through the ranks to the position of national chairman by 2011, and later on served as a secretary general until 2021. I also served in various capacities while in my public duties, and worked at NHIF as a board member and National Constituency Development Fund as a board member representing the teaching force. I also served in the National Assembly, the 12th Parliament, nominated to represent the interest of workers. And so in brief, that is my extensive life in terms of public service. Currently, I'm not actively engaged in any employment. And I'm happy to be before this committee to be vetted for the advertised position for which I have been nominated.
Thank you, Sossion, for that very informative detail about yourself, a very good brief. I would just want to ask you that this question. You've been a unionist, a very active one, a very senior member. Now you want to be a commissioner and employer. Don't you think you'll be in cross purposes? Now you are formally an activist of teachers, and now you want to go the other side to be an employer. How will you be able to handle the two?
I think a fact of history in this country is that the existing employer, the Teacher Service Commission, is a creation of the struggle.
Chair, point of procedure.
Yes, what's our
Chair, I think in the onset you had made a ruling that he will note down all the questions after all of us, and then he goes one by one. Otherwise, if we were to answer each question, then we'll take forever here.
Yes, you are right, but I'm just doing introductory. I'm doing the pace setting, and then I'll open the floor. Yes, we'll allow him for the two, yes.
Yes, the Teacher Service Commission and the trade unions in the education sector are one and the same component. They're all working together for the welfare of teachers. And the trade union side are merely advocates, and the integral part of the teaching service. And Mr. Chair, a precedent has been set in this country, and it has worked very well. If you look at the Ministry of Health, the PS currently in charge of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Oluga, is the immediate former Secretary General of KMPDU, and the country can attest to the fact that the healthcare sector is on a very strong positive trajectory. So I would wish to say trade union leaders are also professionals with the necessary intellectual infrastructure and capacity to work at the policy level. So, Mr. Chair, I wish to assure the country that my appointment to the Commission will strengthen the Commission because I bring experience of advocacy on policy and all matters that affect teachers. So I don't think it is anything to worry about, but it is an addition of value to the Commission. And I can give an example of Ghana. The Chief Executive Secretary of the teachers' employer in Ghana is a former Secretary General of the Trade Union of Teachers in Ghana. So I think it's a fact of strong progression and appreciation of trade union leaders as also resourceful workers who can do government work.
Thank you. I think you've given us enough. I want now to open the floor. I would advise that because of time, I want you to be noting down the questions, then I'll give you the liberty to answer all of them. Let's be orderly so that we can start. And I will restrict to one question because of time, members. Just one.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes. Let's start with the member for Nyamira, and then we move to the group. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I want to commend the nominee for being so eloquent and giving us his history. Now that he has been nominated, and we want to do the approval hearing, and finally, maybe, if he will be approved as the commissioner of TSC, What would be your 3 highest strategic priorities during your first year in the office? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Yes, Member for Siaya.
Thank you, Chair. My question is, how will you assure this committee and the public that your previous experience will not interfere with your work as a commissioner? Because your experience has been one of a trade unionist, you've been a member of parliament, you've been very vocal in various areas within education, promotion, recruitment, and so on. How will your experience influence the commission?
Let's move, yes, Member.
Thank you, Chair. I have a question on your net worth. Your declared income, your SACCO savings of 4.51 million and SACCO earnings of 3.38 million. That's roughly about 8 million. Yet, your estimated net worth is at 65 million, with no listed real estates, vehicles, or other assets to explain the Kenya shillings 55 million gap. So my question is, can you provide us with an itemized breakdown supporting your Kenya shillings 65 million net worth estimate?
Thank you. Honorable Taitumo.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Sossion, you have been a veteran trade unionist. Teachers in this country who retire are currently languishing in poverty due to bureaucracy of payment of retirement benefit, due to what is deemed to be maybe corruption within the TSC workers in processing their benefits. If this committee approves you, what will you do to make sure that there's smooth transition after the teachers forward their document before retirement, so that when they retire, they get their money within the prescribed time without any delay?
Yes, Member for Narok.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, my question to Honorable Sossion, and sorry, before even I ask any question, I want to congratulate him for coming this far, for being nominated as a nominee to be a commissioner. Secondly, Chair, Honorable Sossion has been an advocate of the teachers for a long time and is known in this country for that. Chair, my question is, what reforms would you propose to strengthen the recruitment, promotion of teachers so that we have deployment of teachers in ASAL areas? Should we review the criteria of recruitment of teachers in this country to enhance recruitment of teachers in ASAL areas so that these children get enough teachers? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Member for...
Honorable Sossion, if you are successful in this process, looking into the next decade, what would you consider the greatest opportunities and challenges facing the teaching profession in Kenya? And what strategies or reforms do you think the Commission should begin to implement now, especially in line with, to prepare teachers for the emerging technologies and including artificial intelligence? And also, what reforms do you think would be necessary to attract, develop, retain high-quality teachers in Kenya? Thank you.
Yes, the next member. Honorable, oh, yes. Or you don't, if you don't have a question, no problem. Kombe. Harrison.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Harry Kombe, MP Magarini, Kilifi County, member of this committee. My question to the nominee. Bwana Sossion. There are teachers teaching in areas which are beyond hardship. Unfortunately, they are not getting hardship allowance. What plans do you have to take care of such teachers? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Sossion, you are on record, not once, not twice, severally, on having very strong position on the management of discipline of teachers. I would like to know from you, if you become a commissioner, what are we going to do to manage the increasing deviance from managers or so-called heads of institutions, so-called principals of schools in managing public resources?
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Sossion, in your past life as an art official and also in your personal capacity as a teacher, you have litigated the Teacher Service Commission. Is there any pending litigation or issue between yourself as a person or as a former NAT official still in court? Also, you have served as a politician and you've taken very strong political positions in the recent months. How sure are we are vetting someone who is still a politician and by February will be resigning to go pursue his dreams?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Bwana Sossion, teachers' unions have for many years sought a postgraduate allowances for the holders of master's and PhD degrees, township allowances, and risk allowances. But all of these are pending in the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. What role as a commissioner would you play in advancing and resolving these long outstanding demands, now that you are also a unionist?
Yes, Honorable Maclap.
Thank you, Chair. First, there is something in page 4 in our file on the nominee age is indicated as 55 years old, born in December 1968. My mathematics tells me 55 is not born 1968. If you look at this, I think that should be corrected, because 1968 and it is saying 55 years. So my question, Chair, is that
are you pointing out an error?
Yeah, I'm pointing something.
You're pointing out an error?
Yeah, I'm pointing out.
That is on which page?
In this file, page 4. It says citizenship, date, and place of birth.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
That does not match with 1968. 55 does not match with 1968. Those of you who have the ID can confirm.
I think that should be a typo issue. Yeah. It should not. I think thank you for that correction.
In other words, are we dealing with the right person? Maybe there are two different
No. You are out of order. Honorable Haro.
So now, Chairman,
what Honorable Maclap was pointing out is a typo issue, which I think I've noted it, and I think we've captured it well. Actually, born 68, December 31st, is now almost 58 years. Above 55 years. Yeah. So correct.
Yeah. Now my question, Chair, is that currently there are a lot of predation on the teacher space. Other than the recognized unions, like NAT and COBET, there are many other deductions done on payslips of teachers by entities, by very many entities, which are not trade unions. How will you influence policy decision to ensure that the payslip of teachers is safe from scrupulous third-party deductions?
Thank you. I am the chair now. Honorable Sossion, you can proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Those are very many questions, but extremely genuine, and I'll try my best to answer in the most honest manner possible. Yeah, the question from Honorable Cherusha that highlight 3 strategic objectives that I will engage in during the first 1 year. Mr. Chair, I wish to state that Teacher Service Commission has got a strategic plan that is well negotiated, well thought out. It is even aligned to the National Plan Vision 2030 with the 3 pillars of the social, political, and economic. And I am not going to create new strategic objectives that will conflict with the organization. The organization is already meticulously structured with 3 strategic goals. That is, 1, to ensure that Kenya delivers quality teaching and implementation of the curriculum. I will live within that spirit and that commitment and ensure that truly, as a country, we register quality education outcomes. And Mr. Chair, I wish to state that Kenya for a long time has been #1 in Africa in global competitiveness in terms of delivery of quality teaching. And I think we should be able to get back. We are already beyond number 10. And I think it is one item that we'll need to focus on very strongly, particularly when we are thinking of taking the country to the first world. That will be a core duty that all schools in the country, all learning institutions, both public and private, delivers quality education outcome. Number 2 is to strengthen service delivery within the teaching service and to re-engineer the operations of the commission and promote innovativeness so that we have an efficient service delivery line to the teachers and support system to our teachers, because we cannot have teachers who are not well supported, well recognized, and motivated to be able to deliver on our education outcome. Within the strategic plan also is aspect of strengthening the capacity of the commission to be able to do all these, and also strengthen governance of teachers. Well-governed teachers, well-supported teachers will definitely give us quality education outcomes.
Mr. Sossion, I want to ask that because of time, I'll want you to be pointed.
Let me precise for Honorable Mbaka.
But one thing I want to take you back. One of the items that motivates teachers is promotion. It's a very important thing. This committee has really been moving year in out to promote teachers. But that aspect has been riddled with corruption, with improper processes of promotion. At times you get a teacher who has been fast-tracked. Let me use that word. Within a short time, from C1, he stays in 2-3 years, he's in C2, another 2 years, he's in C3, all the way to C5. Then there is a teacher And you know, I'm saying this out of what you said in one of the instances when you was the Secretary General. Certain teachers have stagnated, they have been forgotten, and they have been roughshod. And they are left in one job group for a record 10 years, 11 years. What plan do you have?
That is why on the third strategic objective, institutional capacity and governance. Governance means weeding out corruption. Governance means respecting merit. Governance means respecting the statutes, the code of regulations as it is outlined. It is clear you cannot move to a new grade unless you work for 3 years in a particular promotion or grades. Governance means weeding out corruption so that there is fairness and merit, that teachers are so assured that within a given time you fairly earn your promotion. So I think when we ensure that there is fair governance, that weeds out elements of corruption, favoritism, nepotism, I think it is the right thing that will happen, and that should be done, because that is contained within the strategic objectives. Mr. Chairman, on question from Honorable Mbaka, how sure that my previous experience will not interfere with my work? I wish to say consciously, the work I did was to support the commission so that it can support teachers. In 2011, I advocated for employment of teachers on permanent and pensionable terms. And I did engage in negotiating with the Treasury for money for that. And it did happen. And I think that is a positive contribution to the employer, because we were able to avail 2.4 billion and a further 1.4 billion for annual recruitment, and that work has gone on. I think that is a positive contribution. I have argued for better salaries for teachers, because if you look at the vision of TSC, is that we must retain the most motivated, ethical, and globally competitive teachers. That includes also decent pay. It is a global program, and I think Kenya has done very well to pay teachers and review teacher salaries over time. It is what I argued for on the other side. And we agreed with government. We signed agreements. So really, I was not pulling down the commission, but I was building the commission, and including even going to the length of negotiating on behalf of the commission.
Mr. Sossion, you know one thing I want you to note. Yes, you argued on the other side. Now you are in the, if these members will, the process will approve you. Will you still be continuing with that particular stint you had? Just one question only.
From the other side, I was advocating.
Yes.
At the employer side, it is implementing. So I will seek to continue implementing the policies that are agreed within the commission that benefits the teachers of Kenya. Nothing much changes. I am not going to be a disruptor within, you know, when you are the policy implementer.
Yes, let's hear Honorable Nabi.
Sossion, you are being guarded. Eh? On the other side, you are on the negotiating table for the teachers. On this side, you'll be on the negotiating table from the past side, from government. The issue we are asking, and which you need to come out very clearly, won't you be an insider of the unionists when you are supposed to be helping TSC and government to negotiate?
Just be, Mr. Chairman, I'll be very straight. Mm-hmm. I am sure I'll take an oath of office once I'm approved. So, and I am sure the commission and the government, as it is at the moment compared to many countries, is pro teachers in terms of work. So I will defend the commission and I will do that which is necessary in terms of promoting constructive engagements with the social partners. So I think as I've stated earlier on, I will commit myself to ensure that the commission is administered within the policies and within the decisions that are taken. I'm very strong in decisions. I'm not going to betray the commission, neither am I going to betray the teachers of Kenya, because whatever is agreed upon benefits teachers. And I think that is the spirit I'll carry to the commission. I don't think the commission is at war with teachers.
I think it is well said. Proceed.
Yeah. When my work earnings, the calculations that have been made, I think I'll still, what was not included are things to do with my own house here and at home, that is, which are valued at around 40 million. That will be corrected, and land, which valued around 15 million, and savings in my SACCOs and my car. If you do that mathematics, it comes up to 65 million. So I think I should be able to correct that one. Not correct, but to ensure that that information is with you. And then the Honorable Taitumu.
So for record, you'll just give us those tabulations.
Yes.
Yes. Proceed to the next one.
Yes.
Chairman.
And then.
Chairman.
Yes.
You know, when you are posed with a question of what is your net worth, is your gross worth less liabilities? That is the net worth of a person. It's not just a gross of land. After stating that, you deduct what is what you owe you. Yeah.
And
so that you
accurately,
get your net worth.
And accurately,
he has given us the direction.
Accurately, Honorable Makilap, that is what my accountant did properly. My net worth, excluding liabilities, I don't have any running loan, is actually at 65 million shillings.
But
modest.
Not the.
It's not gross.
Yes, I'm saying not those things you need to supply.
Yes. Agreed.
Proceed, yes.
Yeah. Then Honorable Taitumu on retired teachers. What shall I do to hasten the pension? The pension conversation has been a big issue in Kenya. And we know in place now is a new contributory pension scheme, which indeed I'm happy I negotiated in ensuring that that pension scheme is in place collectively with the publics, with the rest of the public servants, but it is not covering the teachers who are the tail end, who suffer by waiting for pension for the longest time. I'm happy to know that TSC actually processes their documents, and the challenge is at the director of pension. And so for me, my concern and what I will do is to continue advocating for the director of pension to promptly release the pension to teachers. And as per Musila bill, any worker exiting government payroll should automatically enter the payroll of pension for workers. I think as a country, we should be protecting our pensioners. And there are a lot of pension reforms within the pension sector, including all workers joining NSSF. And I think as a country, we've got a good ecosystem addressing pension, but then teachers must be promptly paid their pension. It's not a difficult thing. The Honorable MP for Narok, Sankei, Honorable Sankei.
Chairman, on that.
Honorable Taitumu, yes.
Yeah, Chair, what I wanted to know from Honorable Sossion is that there is a lot of bureaucracy. Before the tabulation is done and get concluded from the TSC to translate to the Treasury, files delay, others get lost. What are you going to do to streamline that sector to make sure that as soon as documents are received, tabulation is efficiently done so that the teachers, their files and other documents can be transited to treasury for onward payment.
Yeah.
Order, Sossion. One, this vetting process is online. It is live. There is a viewer who has just given me a question. He retired 3 years ago. He's still waiting for his pension. Every time he asks the commission tells him we are in the process. He takes them to the pensions department in the National Treasury. It is still in process. The question Taitumu is asking, similarly to this Kenyan who is watching us, is saying, what are you doing to make sure that he gets pension instantly he retires? You are going into a new office. Just be patient. This is a very serious issue. And we want you to be a problem solver, Commissioner. What are you going to make sure that immediately he retires, the next month he gets his pension? Yes.
I have quoted the Pension Act, which is very clear about transiting workers when they exit the payroll to the pension. Mr. Chairman, I agree that the administrative lapses, and this points out to the question of governance and efficiency. And if we are to discuss even extensive what other nations do in terms of preparing their workers for their pension, training, including even training teachers who are about to retire to prepare for their retirement, prompt payment of pension is a provision in our law. And Mr. Chairman, it is not good for a country to make very good laws and then we fail to enforce. I think for me, it is not negotiable. Prompt preparation, collection of documents, and a very digitized administrative system within TSC. If a teacher is at 58, that teacher should begin preparing pensions and documents 1 year or 2 years prior, so that by the time you exit from payroll, the director of pension is ready. And I've said, Mr. Chairman, let us appreciate the fact that we are shifting out of the old pension scheme that has issues, and we are shifting to the contributory pension superannuation scheme, which can pay you promptly. And I've said the teachers at the tail end, maybe at the age of 50 to 60, are suffering from what Taitumu is talking about. But then they should enjoy the provisions of the law. It is not negotiable. And TSC should process all those documents and release them to the director of pension, so that then we should only be talking about delays at the office of the director of pension and the National Treasury, but not documents at TSC.
Yes, I know. That is what is said, and that is what the law says. Someone to retrieve the file.
Mr. Chairman, that is deliberate corruption.
So what I'm asking really you, order, Sossion. Yeah. You listen. You need to take time to listen. What are you going to do? You know, these are hard questions from the online. They are saying the file gets lost immediately. He does what? He retires. And then you retrieve it at a fee. Is it? And then for transmittal from the commission to the pensions department at a fee. Give us a plan. Give us a plan. If you'll be approved to make sure that this menace will be a thing of the past. Just in 1 minute only.
Mr. Chairman, in one statement,
yes.
I don't think I'm prepared to negotiate with corrupt individuals messing up with the files. I don't think so. And I've said one role of TSC within the strategic objectives and framework is good governance. One aspect of good governance is processing teachers' files and documents without creating unnecessary bureaucracy. So if we clean TSC of all manner of corruptions, including hiding files. And when we talk of files, everything has gone digital. And if it is digital, then there should be no problem. So, Mr. Chairman, I assure you I will commit my time and my efforts to ensure that these processes work right.
Well said. Proceed.
Yeah.
And there was something, the last thing in pension,
Yes.
So Sean, what policy intervention do you incorporate with the commission to ensure that teachers who are dismissed from the service after serving like 20, 30 years, 10 years, and they go home without any benefit, what plan do you think it should be done so that there is fairness for those people who have served the country, whatever the circumstances that they face, to be dismissed?
And I think that's a supplementary question on the same, on the pension. The Employment and Labor Relations Court ruled in 2018 that such teachers are still entitled to benefits for the period they work, particularly service gratuity. So for me, I'll ensure the employer complies with the law. We lose nothing by complying with the law and recognizing the services that these teachers rendered to the country. And reforms to strengthen recruitment of teachers in ASAL areas. Kenya does not operate in isolation. We operate within global commitments, particularly those of UNESCO. And UNESCO recommendations in terms of teachers training and supply requires that all communities must have teachers created from school leavers within those communities. It is a global commitment. It is a practice. Education is goes on in a cultural, local linguistic context. And I think Kenya has done very well in the past. If you look at teacher recruitment, particularly for primary, it is done at the zones. And it speaks to gender, both male and female. And I think we should continue implementing the UNESCO framework, including even ethnic minorities. While I was working at EI, I was the president EI Africa, I was privileged to work on a policy for governments and member states to ensure that ethnic minorities also have their own teachers, including even head teachers. So I think that's a policy that has been done very well in Kenya. And the delivery of education equitably will demand that all communities must have teachers. It is a policy. And I think teachers have been trained very well in Kenya. I'll ensure that that policy goes on. It should not be thrown under the table. It should be protected and sustained for as long as we exist as a country.
Keep time.
And on opportunities and challenges that we have within the teaching service from Hon Emase, and in terms of training of teachers and the reforms to attract and retain quality teachers in Kenya, it is very clear that through UNESCO that countries and governments must struggle to make teaching profession the first. That is number one. Attract the best students to join teaching. And if you look at Korea, Mr. Chairman, for example, the top students join teaching. And 57% of parents would like their students to join teaching. Even as we aspire to go to Singapore, we must make the teaching profession noble in this country, attractive and the first profession.
We applaud you for that. We applaud you for that. Actually, that is it.
And so, Chair,
I think pick the weak people to nurture society. And that is something which this country at times fail. We get the best to nurture the country so that you finally pick the best from the best who have done the nurturing.
Yes.
That is a very good direction.
And I think practically when we looked at Korea...
So proceed because of time. Yes,
yes.
Said it well, well said.
And particularly when you look at Korea, the education is strongly STEM, and their teachers are the topmost from their best. And I think we can do that as a country.
Are teachers.
Yeah, the A students are teachers. And so they must be properly recruited, well remunerated, and well supported.
Chair, you doubt that? Chair, let's not speak to the gallery here.
Yes.
Chair.
You're out of order, Honorable Cairo. You must withdraw. We are not speaking to the gallery.
Okay, I've withdrawn, Chair. Then let us not speak to excite. Chair,
yes.
What I'm saying is, how is the nominee for commissioner going to give direction on how universities admit students? Because universities are the ones preparing the teachers. I've raised this issue before. How are you going to say A students to go do education, whereas we know they pay over teacher? Let us be factual here.
I am not saying I am going to impose and it is done automatically, instantly. This is a persuasive process. We look at what other countries have done. Why did we visit Korea in 2015 with the Minister for Education here in Kenya and discussed the teacher recruitment and training policy all over the world? And we visited Korean schools. We saw what they do and the policies that they have in place. In Kenya, we have done our best. If you look at it, Mheshimiwa, there were times in Kenya when untrained persons could teach in the classroom. But now it's no longer possible. You must be a trained teacher. That is progress. And I think going into the future, the conversation about recruiting the best students in our school system to teaching is a positive one. The link between TSC and training institutions is provided in the Constitution. That one of the role of TSC is to advise the national government, engage in universities, and with universities on conversation of minimum requirements on recruitment of teachers.
Well said,
so I think that is a fact that we cannot throw it under the table. It is collective. It is not a divisive political issue.
Honorable Sossion, I want to guide you. When you see the chair as mic is on, yours should be off. And two, you need to actually have short of words. You know, you have just become very word. Yes, that's what you have done. But we want you to finish it faster. Yes.
Thank you. Hon Harrison Kompe about the hardship areas. The hardship areas are properly negotiated and gazetted in the Code of Regulations. But if there is need to further review, and particularly there is a category of extreme hardship areas, and that is more administrative with TSC and with the relevant institutions, including SRC. There is no need to disadvantage a region that is geographically and gazetted as a hardship area and teachers are not paid. So this is not a difficult thing. It is easy. The gazetted areas are contained in the Code of Regulations. Honorable Nabwera, management of discipline of teachers, particularly principals, and what are we going to do to tame the probably growing mismanagement in terms of resources? Mr. Chairman, school audit is a mandatory practice. All schools must be audited, particularly when funds are being released, provided for by government and parents. All public money must be accounted for. And I will advocate for continuous auditing of schools so that vices of misuse of resources can be arrested. There is also need to strengthen the quality assurance of schools so that we protect the best practices in terms of administration and management and try to completely eliminate any form of abuse of resources within our schools. We already have laws and we have frameworks to implement that.
Yes, yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
Chair, before Honorable Sossion goes to the issue of quality assurance, Chair, this issue of principles, you know, you've been asked about issues of audit. And for the first time, the principals are going to appear before the Public Investment Committee on the issue of audits of schools. How are you going to strengthen the relationship between the ministry and yourselves at TSC to ensure that these teachers are accountable to public funds? Because, you know, look at the issue of certificates. A directive was issued that all principals must release KCSE certificates to the students. But up to date, there are some students who have been denied the right to get their certificates even after sitting for examination. So that means there is a mislink between the ministry and TSC. How are you going to ensure that these policies are adhered to? Thank you.
No, the Constitution of Kenya created TSC as an independent commission and created county and national. But one overriding principle is that all government institutions must collaborate. I am aware of an amendment to the TSC Act so that then principals can be given agency responsibilities by the ministry. I strongly support that move. Every citizen and every worker must be accountable to every cent.
But Mr. Sossion, do you want us to go and legislate every aspect of life in this country? Teacher Service Commission is a government independent commission. There is a directive about a head teacher by the ministry to release certificates. Certificates are funded, paid for by the government of Kenya. They are not paid for by the schools. Do you want us to make a law to that effect? We are asking you, if this committee approves you today, what are you going to do in one sentence to make sure that certificates are released by your teachers? Because you are the employer of teachers now. We'll take you to the commission if we approve you. What are you going to do to your teachers' relief, more so the principals? Just one word.
Mr. Chairman, we don't need to be at pains. We are not reinventing the wheel. Government circulars and directives must be respected. That was no choice. At no time should we defy any government directive. That is number one. We may not need to legislate. But you see what caused the country to legislate even the clause on agency powers being given to the ministry. I think there was a gap and there's been conflict between the two institutions. And I want to assure Mr. Chair
that you will bring peace and amicability.
Yes. Yes.
Just say it very clearly so
yes.
we move on. Yes.
And I promise the country that there will never be war between TSC and ministry. I'll ensure that both are working together to the point that the country may not need even additional laws to enforce certain things. Proceed. There has to be cooperation within the center. Proceed. And that is within the core values of working together as a team within the strategic plan of TSC. Honorable Gezairo, whether I have pending litigation with TSC, the many litigations I had with TSC were not personal. It was between the trade union that I represented and TSC. And some of it touched on my personal interest, but within my former capacity as Secretary General, but that is what under the bridge. I wish to tell the country, Mr. Chairman, that I don't have any active case in court against TSC.
Proceed.
And
Next
that
one.
can be verified.
Proceed.
And then he has asked a question that I made political.
Yes, Honorable Gezairo.
First of all, at no point did I say personal. I had said in your capacity, previous capacity as an NATO official.
Yes.
And number two, there was a ruling in February about your unfair dismissal by TSC. And I think there were compensations. Has that been sorted, or you are going to compensate yourself now?
No, I did not seek for compensation. I don't think I was interested in being compensated, whereas the court would have wished to compensate me had I done so. that ruling settled the matter, and it ruled very clearly. It made a declaration that my removal from the register was a violation of section 44 to 56 of the Code of Regulation, and I'm not interested in going back to teaching class, so I'm not pursuing that matter. Was ruled, let it rest as such, and I'm satisfied within my own conscience, and I don't have any other case. And if there are cases within my previous institution versus the Teacher Service Commission, then those cease to be part of me. They become cases between the institutions and TSC, and I'm aware the institution that I served have since negotiated and settled those particular matters. So it's not an item of interest. But you have raised a question on my political position in recent months. All of us have a right to, as per Constitution, Article 38, to exercise our political minds. All of you, we do, but in an acceptable manner. For me, if I remember very well, I've only been debating government policies. I've been arguing within the space of government policies. And going to the Teacher Service Commission, this is going to confine me on policies related to education and teachers. I am no longer a member of any political party as required by the law and the Constitution. And so I don't think I will be invited to engage in political biases that are disruptive and divisive. I will carry my experience and intellectual infrastructure and capacity to support the teaching service the best way I can, and I'm not going to pursue partisan issues within the Commission.
Chair.
And he has asked whether I'll resign in February to vie for an elective seat. Yes. No, I'm not interested in that. I will serve my full term as a commissioner because my favorite job is the teaching service and promotion of education. So that I give that strong assurance to Mheshimiwa and others in the country. Honorable Orero is asked about payment of teachers with masters, PhD, and in terms of allowances. And I know very well in previous terms and benefits.
And as you are handling that question, acting heads of institutions, acting principals, it's a menace as we talk. And two, we also have teachers. Apart from the PhDs, the acquired grades, you know, opportunities for going in the economics of education, Sossion. That somebody has 2-3 degrees, he is in primary, and the way Honorable Orero is putting it, they are not recognized. Yet they have invested their time, they are better off now, and they are well trained, and TSC is not recognizing them. What will you do? Handle it as one package.
Mr. Chair, previously, the Code of Regulations, Article 73, recognized rewarding of these teachers. That teachers would be promoted based on the number of years in service, that is one. Number two, based on merit, those who do well in terms of exams, co-curricular activities, and also to those who return with additional new qualifications. Mr. Chairman, I wish to rightly inform this committee and the country that that was vacated in 2017 through the career progression guidelines. Yes, 2014.
Yes, yes.
It remained a contentious issue. We cannot talk of, as a country, retaining motivated, ethical, and globally competitive teachers when we are not rewarding relevant new qualifications. It's a HR practice that is done. And the country must invite itself, including TSC, and TSC must boldly propose a clear way of rewarding these teachers. Mr. Chairman, I was in Bahamas. The minimum qualification of a teacher to teach in Bahamas, whether in primary, secondary, is a graduate. We've talked about Finland, the minimum.
So don't wade into those areas. What
I'm giving you global best examples and best practices.
Yes. So Kenya now.
Kenya must revert. It was wrong to vacate a practice. You know, it's against the ILO practices to withdraw a benefit that is running.
Very good.
You can't withdraw.
You've said it well.
So all this is about a budget line. And then we map out, pay those teachers, and then deploy them where their services are needed most. As we work progressively going into the future to make teaching attractive. That is one way of making teaching attractive. You can't make teaching attractive when you are eroding away and clawing out standing benefits like teachers acquiring new qualifications.
I want you to note this. We are not debating, you are answering those questions. Just like that. Yes. So that we
Thank you,
keep
Mr.
time.
Chairman.
Yes. Just go to the point.
Yes, I think I've dispensed of that. And then Magilap has talked about clarification. I was born 68. So today in 2026,
the chair has made
that has been corrected. And then predation of teachers' pay slips through illegal deductions. This is criminal. Mr. Chairman, it is a known fact. And I stayed without any doubt because I've experienced this. There are third-party institutions that find their way to predate on teachers' payslips.
These are people who are predating payslips for teachers.
Yes.
And we have a number. This committee is still investigating a number. What will you do to make sure that no one predates or actually preys on the teachers?
They cannot predate unless they are facilitated.
So what are you doing?
So I'm saying they could have been facilitated. That must be stopped. And for me, I'll take a firm position that only affect third-party deduction if a teacher writes and requests. If there is no request, then that is criminal.
Thank you. Well said.
That's absolutely criminal.
Proceed.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think I've answered all the questions that were raised. And I think I've tried my best to be clear.
Thank you.
Chair.
Yes.
Just a small clarification. You gave us bulky files, so we were looking through them. Unless they were given to us for declaration. Self-declaration form filled by Honorable Sossion.
Which item? On which page?
There is this big document here. I'm just wanting to clarify something.
Yes. On which?
A page after the certificates, Higher Education Loans Board. Just after that. Just after the certificates.
The blue file, members. The blue folder.
There's a document on first schedule. No, it's something simple. You don't need even to look for it. Yeah, you don't need to refer.
Yes. Can you raise it?
Yeah, Honorable Sossion, you've given your ID number because you're taking a role that includes, you've been mentioning countries here. Unless you're using an ID to travel, you've said your passport number, not applicable, expiry date, not applicable, but you've given the ID number. And it was not an and/or question where you choose one. It is a table where you're supposed to fill. There's a difference between an and/or where you choose whether you're filling an ID or a passport. This is not the case. The document was asking for your passport number.
Yes.
Are you saying you do not have a passport number, or you chose just to bypass that?
Mr. Chairman, I regret that error. I have a passport with a passport number. I regret that.
That is
an omission.
Up to there, yes. Up to there, that's enough.
I have a passport.
You'll provide us the passport number.
I will provide.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Gisairo, for that. Any other issue, members? So I hope you've noted the items you need to provide. The clerk will ask you to. Otherwise, I think we are through. Honorable Sossion. Online, there are a few online questions which I think you've handled them. But one thing which keeps coming up is the issue of teachers with lower grade C-. They have done a degree, they have done a P1, and they are not employed by the Teacher Service Commission, all the way to PhD. Two, we have the issue of, I think you've handled acting teachers. Yes, can you say something about that?
Add.
Yes, you want to add
May
something?
I add?
Yes, you can add and then we clear it.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Some time back, there was a gentleman who had a D. He proceeded to the Teachers College. He did his exams, he passed, he was employed as a teacher. Then he left for some further studies. He stayed there until he got a PhD. On coming back, TSC refused to reinstate him because that group of D had been eliminated. So he went back to Lamu and was employed as a curator. Then there was an advertisement now for an education officer in Lamu. The gentleman went, presented his papers with a PhD, and he was taken to be the district education officer then. How are you going to also consider such a case, referring to the C-?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think you've heard the history behind that. Mm-hmm.
Chairman.
Yes, on the same issue?
Not on the same issue. Chairman, there is something very important that there are some teachers who attended diploma in ECD and special education. Some of their colleagues were upgraded and moved on, but the process was terminated in February 2014 by Teacher Service Commission. Mm-hmm. And then those who attained the same qualifications after a date in February 2014, then they were not given a chance of recognition or their papers being recognized by TSC. And yet, their colleagues previously who did the same course were actually successful. What do you think and what remedy can be done now that we are in CPE, curriculum-based education, where there is a multiplicity of skills that we require from them?
Yes, that's a policy issue, Sossion. Briefly, so that we wind up.
Mr. Chairman, if you look at the mission of TSC, it is to regulate the teaching service through sound policies and operational excellence that supports quality teaching and continuing education. Continuing education means you begin primarily recognizing a person from the current qualifications. If you have a PhD in curriculum development, then it may not matter whether you scored a D- at that level, because continuing education means you are building skills, and that TSC recognizes. If then there is a policy that does not recognize this, then it is a bad policy, and there is need to review such policies.
So that you need to note this: you have entry requirements in any profession. Entry requirement means there is a minimum entry requirement for you to enter that particular profession. Assuming that you've scored a D-, then you go for craft, certificate, all the way to PhD. Then you present yourself for employment as a teacher. What do you do? And then there's another one who, under teaching service, requires at least at this particular level of entry? How do you treat it?
Let us appreciate.
Yes, you know, this is why I'm allowing members to weigh in on this, because it is something affecting many Kenyans. Yes. Yes.
Chair,
Member for Teso South.
What we are having a problem was with when you change policy. When should it be implemented?
And it is
because
midstream.
yes, the case we are referring to, these are students who are in colleges with a C minus, doing a diploma in education. Then we change policy midstream, and it is effected immediately. So now those students graduate. When they graduate, TSC cannot give them a TSC number. So they cannot secure employment. Resources have been applied, they have been trained, their parents have struggled. Then this child cannot secure employment by TSC. I think this is an issue that TSC commissioners should sit down and come up with a solution, because those students cannot be employed, they have no TSC numbers, yet they have already undertaken the courses. And some, like the chair said, proceeded and have PhDs. So what do we do about this group of students?
Chair.
Yes. That is your entry.
Chair.
And that is why you'll need to go and do a lot of work. Yes?
Chair. Chair.
Yes,
Chair, it's also good to note that these students are trained by our own institutions in Kenya. And they have certificates valid from universities in Kenya. Secondly, they can be employed by the public service, and yet TSC denies them that opportunity to be employed. Yes. What is so special about that's something that you really need to look at.
Any other? For that,
mine is also to say that
on the same issue.
Universities have the power to give you a degree, but TSC does not have that power to give anybody a degree. Why do you decide what a university has done professionally? So it's the duty of TSC to employ those that have qualified from a university that have the power to give somebody his certificate. So I don't see why TSC is interfering with the work of the university.
Chair, I also want to add.
Yes.
If a new policy has been put in place, who are these who are going to be affected? That is the first question that we had to ask ourselves. Because if we make a policy now, and we know that we have very many students some who are graduating this year, where are we going to take them when we lock them out? There is something that TSC needs to do, and that is why we have Sossion who understands. Please, Sossion, tell us, what are we going to do to help those who are crying now?
Thank you. In one sentence.
Mr. Chairman, let us be alive to the fact that in Kenya, no person can train anybody to be a teacher without meeting the employment requirements of TSC. That is one fact. And if, you know, we have private universities, private colleges, they could have admitted and trained and graduated without agreeing with TSC.
It's not allowed. They are supposed to be regulated.
Yes.
If you are a private university, they are chartered by CUE.
Yes.
If it is a private TTC, they are actually registered by the ministry. So
Mr. Chairman, I don't think we need to create a disorganized situation within training and recruitment of teachers policy in Kenya. All persons who have been trained on the requirements set out by TSC should be employed. And nobody should be trained as a teacher if they don't meet those requirements.
Very good, well put up to that.
That is one. Number two, if a policy has been brought in to raise the minimum requirements of persons entering the teaching service, those who have trained should be protected and employed. I think even when we come up with a new constitution, there are transitional clauses. And you know, you cannot bring in a new policy without protecting those who are affected. Mr. Chairman, I also wish to state, if you look at the teaching service, there was a time we had UTs and trained teachers. And then there were times we had P4 teachers,
yes,
but they were phased out. P3s, they were phased out. And now P1s have been phased out. So as we transit, we must protect rights of citizens who have trained. That is a fact. There must be transitional protection of rights of the professionals who have trained in that particular field. And that is what was missing. If there is such a policy, then it is a bad policy. Then about teachers acting. Mr. Chairman, when we give TSC an independent and constitutional status, then services must be decentralized. Initially, for a long time, it was possible to appoint persons to administrative positions faster previously. It cannot be that we now have teachers in acting positions. So the process of appointments should be addressed so that it is prompt, and so that when a vacancy arises, a teacher with requisite qualifications is appointed immediately. So those are matters to do with the appointment policies and deployment within TSC.
I think that's done, members. Thank you. Thank you, members. We are through. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Sossion, we want to thank you so much for appearing before us. And more importantly, I just want to congratulate you for your nomination. This committee will retreat to write a report, and more importantly, it will actually ask you of any more documents you need supply through the Secretariat, and we'll be able to make our report known to the House as required by the law. Otherwise, I want to say a lot of things. You've displayed a lot of knowledge in the teaching and education service, and more importantly, also in your life as a scholar. Thank you and congratulations. And our vetting approval process is over. We'll want to have another candidate in. I want to thank the members for really going through, and we've done a very good job. If there is anything you want to tell us as a committee in one word, and then we just finish.
Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you together with the committee for affording me this opportunity and for listening to me. And I promise that I'll continue working very hard to ensure that Kenya continues retaining the most motivated teachers and the most ethical teachers and the most globally competitive.
Yes.
I think that is not a mere statement. Thank you. If you approve me.
Yes.
If you approve me. Thank you.
That is it.
And
yes.
God bless
so
you.
You need to note that. Yes. And actually, us as a team, we are pleased. And we are pleased with your knowledge, your capacity, and competence in answering questions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm lost. When to use if and when?
We are saying, because we are here to retire, to retreat for report writing. So it is not yet that. So Honorable Borero, you're out of order. Yes. Members, Honorable Sossion, make sure you have all your documents, your ID, your certificates, check them before you leave. And make sure you sign all the requisite documents you are supposed to. Do you have them? Can you confirm? Thank you. Asante sana. Now you are released. Thank you. Yes. Welcome our invited guests. We are proceeding with the approval hearings on the vetting process. You are Antonina Lentoijoni.
Honorable Member, yes, I'm Antonina Lentoijoni.
Yes, kindly give us your documents. Sergeant, pick the documents before. So, members, I've actually using the documents, the ID number. The candidate before us is Lentoinjoni Antonina. And we have actually positively identified her. And therefore, I will straight away ask for a very quick introduction so that you know the members we are dealing with. So, let me start with honorable members. Member for Nyamira, introduction, very fast.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Cherusha Momanyi, MP Nyamira, and I'm a member of this committee.
I'm Christine Ombaka, MP for Siaya, and a member of this committee.
Abdul Haro, MP Mandera South, and a member of this committee.
Taitum Julius, MP Ageba North.
Thank you, Chair. Rebecca Tonkei, MP Narok County, and I wish to declare, Chair, that I worked with Antonina in TSC, the discipline department, but it will not affect my Chair.
So the honorable.
I'll give you time to declare your interest.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Just introduction.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you, Chair. I've done so. Rebecca Tonkei, yes. MP Narok County, and a member of this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Emma Mary, MP Teso South, and a member of this committee.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Harry Kombe, MP Magarini, member of this committee. But, Chair.
No. Not but.
No, I'm
introduction.
Seeing a mister here, and I'm seeing a lady there.
Order. You are completely out of order. You raise any issue you want to raise, you'll have an opportunity. It's introduction, members. Yes?
Thank you, Chair. My name is Gisai Rombane, MP Kitutu Masaba, and a member of this committee. And Chair, it's not Mr., it's MS. We'll need specs for our colleague member.
Chair, I'm Mweli Morero, MP Kibra, member of the committee.
Joseph McLeod is my name, member of Parliament, Baringo North.
Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. My name is John Motega, Deputy Director, Head of the Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Pauline Juguna, Hansard Reporter.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Douglas Kato. I'm the Lead Secretariat for Education Committee. Good morning, Chair. My name is Dr. Mboro Maina, Research Officer to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Anne Kangede, Administrative Officer.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Wanjira Githunguri, Legal Counsel.
Thank you, Chair. Robert Langat, Clerk Assistant.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Noah Chemueno, Sergeant at Arms.
Yes, thank you. And I'm Julius Melly, Member of Parliament Tindred and Chair of the committee. Madam Lento John, welcome to the Education Committee. This is a committee of education. We are undertaking approval hearings for your candidature or for your nomination as a commissioner, Teacher Service Commission. This particular sitting, you are invited via letter dated 3rd August 2016, and in the letter, the Clerk of the National Assembly informed you that we were to have a vetting approval hearing session on 11th of August. That particular undertaking didn't take place because we had a court conservatory orders from a court in Kerugoya, which stopped this committee from proceeding. We abided by the law, and we actually postponed that, and we communicated to you to that effect. A few days ago, we left the National Assembly managed to lift the conservatory orders, and we were allowed to proceed with the proceedings of the vetting process. So in the letter that you were given, we were told that we are going to have a sitting today, and this is actually an approval hearing sitting to actually look into your suitability as per the laws, especially the Appointments Approval Act of the National Assembly. And in that particular letter, the clerk asked you to make sure you have the following items, or 6 issues that you are supposed before you appear before this committee. You are to have a letter from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the Kenya Revenue Authority, the Higher Education Loans Board, the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, the Commission for University Education, and the Credit Reference Bureau. From those, you actually return a clean bill of health, meaning that you are properly and suitable to proceed with this vetting process or approval hearing process. So in that case, therefore, I'll want to go straight now to usher you properly and within the law to start the vetting process. So I'll ask the legal officer to take you through the oath and the swearing in. Kindly do that.
I, Antonina Lentoijoni, do swear that the information I shall give before this committee on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you, Madam Antonina. You are welcome. You are now probably for this committee. Members, before we go through, there was an altercation or an interruption by an honorable member as per our standing orders 90, that if a member has or wishes to speak on any matter in which the member has a personal interest, shall first declare that interest, or two, personal interest should includes pecuniary interests, propriety interests, personal relationships, business relationships, and all that. Any declaration made under this standing order shall be entered in the journals of the House. So I want to open the floor that if anyone has declared interests before we proceed, any amongst ourselves on the candidate. And I will want to note that you must understand the consequences of the declaration of interest. Yes, very good. Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I wanted to declare that I know Antonina personally, and I have worked with her in the Teacher Service Commission, the Department of Discipline. However, Chair, this will not affect my interaction with her or vetting as one of the members of the Education Committee, because we've engaged previously in previous engagements and I've remained as a member. Thank you, Chair.
So in effect, it is does your declaration doesn't meet the requirement of Standing Order 90. So it is only knowledge and personal interaction, is it? Which, like all of us, we've done that. Majority of the members who are here, if so, it doesn't fall within the requirement of the Standing Order 90. So I therefore declare that you have no interest. Yes, you have no interest. So, and therefore, we can rightly proceed. Yes.
Chairman, I think mine is also similar to that of Tongay.
So you are
because I worked under as a Deputy Director of Staffing and the Teacher Service Commission. So I have no interest.
So, members, I think I had to do that because it is proper and you know within the vetting process or the approval hearing process that we actually declare. Yes, and you know at times some of our interests affect the outcome. So because all of us have no interest, now we can rightly proceed. I will just, Madam Antonina, allow us to use that. I want to congratulate you first for having a very good CV document before us. And two, I also want to thank you and congratulate you for being nominated as a commissioner. And your document here, members, is very neat, well presented, and it is well done. Congratulations for that.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes. Straight away, we want to, and Madam Antonina, can you briefly tell this committee who you are, your education background, your family life, your professional and career path up to where we are? In just be brief, the point. I've seen you have a wealth of experience and a big journey. Just be very brief.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair and honorable members. I'll be very brief, and thank you, Chair, for appreciating my beautiful CV. It is well done, and it's very rich, Chair. So, Chair, my name is Antonina Lentojoni, the nominee, Teacher Service Commission, and I really wish to thank this committee for giving me this opportunity to appear before you to undertake this constitutional process. So, Chair, quickly, I know you have my CV. I'll just be brief on one, my family life. So, Chair, I am accompanied by my family, and they are seated on the gallery. I have my son Ian. I have my daughter Stacy Nateku. I have Linda Naitoti still in the gallery. I'm also accompanied by my elder sister, and Chair, her presence here is very significant to me because she is my sister and she's still my mother because she took care of me immediately I lost my mother. So her presence is very significant to me. She's a retired primary school teacher, Chair, so you can know where my dream of becoming a teacher started. She's also accompanied by her son, Suzuki Lotwai is also in the house, and our daughter, Janet Ngunini. So all of them are in the gallery, Chair. So I have 3 children, 1 son and 2 daughters. All of them are present in the house. In my academic journey, education.
They are welcome.
Asante.
They are welcome, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is a public hearing. So
yes,
it is, they are properly before the house.
Asante. So Samburus are in the house, Chair. So it's an opportunity for them to be here. So, Chair, in my education life, I began my primary school level in Kirimon Primary School, where I proceeded to St. Teresa's Girls High School, still in Samburu County, where I acquired my KCSE certificate in 1991. And then I proceeded, Chair, to Kenyatta University, where I acquired my Bachelor of Education in Mathematics in Kenyatta University. I completed Kenyatta University, Chair, in 1997. And then I also proceeded, I'm also a holder of master's degree in business administration, and I specialize in strategic planning, Chair. And in addition to that, Chair, I've undertaken several professional courses. I have undertaken institutional transformation course, and this is both locally and internationally. I have also undertaken courses in artificial intelligence. I've done strategic development leadership in at KSG here in Nairobi, Chair, and several other professional courses, that is teacher professional development course, and several others. They are all listed in my CV, Chair. In my professional journey, Chair, my education led me to 28 years in teaching service. I've been a classroom teacher from 1998, and I served as a classroom teacher in Samburu County, that is in a school called Kirisia Secondary School, for 9 years, Chair, and that gives me the experience of knowing what a classroom is. I know what the classroom realities are, especially in the remote areas in this country. Then, Chair, I was promoted to secretariat level. I left the classroom in 2007, and for close to 19 years, I've been at the headquarters of Teacher Service Commission, where I started as a discipline officer, where I managed discipline processes, teacher discipline processes countrywide. And after that, I was promoted to become a deputy director in charge of teacher staffing, still at the TSC headquarters, where I managed teacher recruitment, supported the director in teacher promotion, transfers, and here today, Chair, as I sit, I am the director in charge of staffing at TSC headquarters. That is my professional journey, Chair. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, as yes. Yes, thank you so much, Antonina. As part of this process, I want to lay to you that you shall be heard, and we'll ask you questions, and members will ask you questions, you will note them down. And more importantly, as the members are asking you questions, you will have your mic off every time, and when you want to speak, you speak through the chair. And the last item I would want to ask you is, we were looking for two certificates, and we are not seeing them. One for Commission for University Education, Higher Education Loans Board. Did you have left them somewhere? I'm not getting that one. And then one for Ethics and Anti-Corruption. And then the one for Commission for University Education. 2. I've seen you had given the copies to the clerk, but where are the originals? Yes, are we able to identify them? Yes.
Chair, what was the certificate that?
Certificate for clearance. Yes, the two are missing. We have copies that you send to the clerk. So I think no, we must be very procedural to have no one to take us back. So thank you. I think it is all the documents are properly before us. We don't want to have anything not before us properly. So thereafter, after members ask questions, you'll ask them, you'll be able to answer them. But I just want to ask you these two questions. One, have you ever been convicted in a court of law or adversely mentioned in a parliamentary committee report? And what is your net worth? Just in one sentence.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Chair, I confirm I've never been conflicted in a court of law, and I've never been adversely mentioned in any parliamentary investigations. And that other one, Chair, the last one. My net worth, Chair, as listed and has been declared in the vetting questionnaire, my net worth is 38 million Kenya shillings. And I've listed the sources that has made that totals. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Now I want to open the floor, and before that, I have Honorable Gisaira, I saw you putting up your hand.
No, Chair, I wanted you to give me the first shot because I have to...
Yes, I'll actually give you the first shot, and I want to thank you for that. Let's start with Honorable Gisaira to answer the first question, and then we come down. Yes. From Busairo now we go the other side. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, you know, we've hosted Antonina in this committee a number of times. So I just have one question. What is your view on internship? And now that the courts have insistently and consistently insisted that that's illegal, what is your view on how do we address teacher shortages now that internship seems to be blocked and may not be a solution to addressing the current teacher shortages in Kenya?
One question only.
Thank you, Chair. Madam, I heard you say you were dealing with some promotions, and I started wondering. There are some teachers who have stagnated in one grade for many years, rating to around 17 years in one grade. What plans do you have to make sure this time round as a commissioner you will be able to make sure they upgrade instantly as they acquire the required period for promotion? Thank you, Chair.
Members, I also want you to note that there are questions meant for TSC, and then we have also questions meant for the candidates, so that we don't mix the two. Yes, so that we don't mix the two, yes. No, don't worry, she will be able to answer that. Don't worry, Honorable Kombe.
No, Chair.
Yes.
She's if we approve.
If she's approved.
If
yes.
she's approved.
Yes.
She's going to be in charge of TSC.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it's appropriate.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Antonina, you've worked in the discipline department and also staffing. My question is around mental health and psychosocial support. If you are successful, according to you, how do you think the Commission should address teacher workload and psychological well-being? And what to balance operational needs with family welfare? Or rather, what specific reforms do you think should be championed on mental health and psychosocial support? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, do you have your eye? Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to first of all congratulate Antonina for this far. She has come. Chair, this serves as a very good motivation and a role model to the girl child out there from the marginalized communities. Secondly, Chair, I want to ask Antonina, if approved by Parliament, how will you transition from the role of implementing the Commission decisions to one of setting strategic policy and holding management to account, bearing in mind that you've worked for so many years in TSC as a secretariat, and most of those people are your colleagues. So how are you going to hold them to account on the decisions and the policies that you're going to make as a commissioner? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Let me also congratulate Madam Antonina for her nomination to be a commissioner if approved by this House. First, mine is on governance issue. Madam Antonina, you have been a teacher, you have been a leader. One of the issues that are traumatizing the retirees is the delayed processing of their benefit. If approved, what are you going to do to bring synergy to the TSC to make sure that once teachers retire, they don't languish in poverty due to delayed payment of their retirement benefits? Because we have heard of files getting lost, the bureaucracy, that leads to the commission, to the corruption within the TSC? What are you doing to root out that one and to create efficiency in the procession of the retirement benefits?
Thank you, Chair. Madam Antonina, I will ask, looking at your CV, I can see you are a mathematics teacher at Kirisia Secondary School from 1998 to 2007. And then from 2007 to 2023, 2007 to 2020, you are the Assistant Director Discipline. And then that's a length of about 13 years as the Assistant Director Discipline. And then you had some successive rapid rise in 2020 to 2023 as the Assistant Director Staffing, and then 2023 to date as the Director. I'll not ask my question about the rapid rise, but I'll ask what were some of the reasons why it took you too long from 2007 to 2020, that long plateau as an Assistant Director Discipline, if there are any reasons you think made you stuck in that position for 13 years. And the other question I'll ask is maybe a write-down, a question Madam Tonkei, Honorable Tonkei has asked. I would want to know how you'll manage the conflict of interest in reviewing staffing policies you've authored as a Director of Staffing. Now you are in the Commission. How would you manage those conflict of interest? Bearing in mind that I've been engaging with the Commission recently, and I've come across cases where, I don't want to call it frustration, but you know, the Commission was kind of at loggerheads in some instances with the Secretariat, because I don't know who has usurped whose power. You know, like for example, there's a case of a teacher in my school, in my constituency, who was transferred in a proper manner by the Secretariat, but then the Commission reverses that transfer, which makes it look like the Commission and the Secretariat, both of them perform in terms of staffing, transferring, and doing that. Thank you.
And I want to just be straight to the question. Members, the
thank you, Chair.
In the afternoon. We'll be in the House in the afternoon.
Yeah, Madam Antonina. Junior secondary teachers currently report to heads of institution of comprehensive schools. And this arrangement generally has generated divergent stakeholders' view. Some advocating greater administrative autonomy. Now, when we will vet you and allow you to be a commissioner. I said I have a problem with the if and when, but now I'm using when. What governance and reporting model would you recommend to ensure effective coordination between primary and junior secondary section while addressing concerns about administrative autonomy? Thank you.
Yes, Member for
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to commend Madam Antonina for the experience that she has had in the Commission. And throughout the time that she has been there, we have had multiple recruitments. But again, when we move around the country, there are shortage of staffing, shortages in various schools. Although we have really tried, why do you think there are shortages? And what new ideas would you bring on board to the Commission to assist, make sure that schools are well staffed and the gap of understaffing is, that gap is sealed? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Yes, Maclap.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say that to congratulate nominee for finding the eye of the nominating authority to attend this vetting process.
Honorable McLeod.
No, I'm just saying
you are out of order. The nominee went through a recruitment
yes,
process.
I'm saying
not
up to now.
Getting the eye. No.
No, okay, fine. Let me put it correctly.
She qualified. And
I want to congratulate her for able to be among those who are nominated to this, to vetting in Parliament.
Yes, for qualifying. Yes.
For qualifying to participate in Parliament. And Chairman, I have no questions for her. She's the most suitable.
Honorable McLeod,
Chair.
Honorable McLeod, you are completely out of order.
Thank you, Chair.
Chairman, I withdraw and apologize. I'll do that in the House.
Chair.
See, if you have no question, say you have no question. Yes.
I have no questions.
That's correct. Now,
that you have had.
Madam Lentojoni, you have I want to thank members for having compliments, but you've been asked a number of questions. I want you to briefly answer those questions. As you are answering those questions, I have an online question from a teacher in Wajir County, so that you answer all of them. He's asking that him being a teacher in that particular part of the country, they have always had issues with acting and promotions of teachers who have diploma. You remember in 2018, and it is good you are then as a staffing officer in TSC, this committee made an undertaking with the Teacher Service Commission to allow teachers in hard-to-starve areas, ASAL areas, to be promoted, even if they had diploma in education, to leadership positions. They are saying that the implementation of that policy or program is still difficult. What are the issues that are making it difficult for TSC to implement a program that was agreed upon by this committee and the commission, so that we'll see principals rise through, even if they are diploma holders, in those hard-to-starve areas? Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. Chair, I'll start with the question from Honorable Gisairo on the teacher internship policy that was declared by the courts to be legal, and is asking two questions on the same. What is your view on the internship? How do you address teacher shortage now that the teacher internship policy that was enabling us to address the teacher shortage has been declared illegal? So, Chair, to answer this, I'd wish to state that teacher internship was a very valuable program in the teaching force since it started in 2019, Chair. It has enabled our newly qualified teachers to bridge the gap between the teacher training education, to expose them in the classroom, to have practical experiences in the classroom, and we've seen very valuable opportunity for our teachers to bridge that gap between the teacher trainings and the classrooms. So it's very valuable. But because the courts had concerns on how we were implementing the teacher policy, Chair, we have to adhere to that, and it's still in courts. So the only way now we'll move forward to address the teacher shortage, Chair, is to ensure that we engage this House to give us more funding, or sustainable funding, to ensure that we have teachers recruited on permanent and pensionable terms. So the House is here. We will still collaborate even as before. You've enabled us to recruit more than 100,000 teachers. So we'll continue doing the same, despite the courts nullifying the teacher internship program. But it was a very valuable program because of the mentorship that our teachers have been given during their program. Number two, Chair, I've been asked if approved There are teachers who have stagnated for more than 17 years in one grade. What plans do you have to ensure that they get promoted? So, Chair, maybe just to put this straight, all our teachers were promoted in 2017 during the first CBA that was there when we had the conversions, the new conversions. So this house had appropriated 54 million Kenya shillings to promote the teachers. So all teachers were promoted. So no teacher has stayed for 17 years in one grade. So the longest stagnated teacher is 9 years, since 2017 to 2026.
It's 54 billion, not 54 million.
Yes, 54 billion, Chair. Yes. This house appropriated that. So every teacher was promoted in 2017. So none.
So the longest
is 2017 is 8 years to now. They are now 8 years. 8. From 1st of July 2017.
You know, the statutory promotional time is 3 years.
Yes, that is the minimum.
Yes.
That is the minimum. So we have teachers. It's true, we have teachers we are still stagnated for 9 years. So the question is, what plans do I have to ensure that eligible teachers get promoted? Chair, we appeared in this house earlier to say that we noted that the career progression guidelines for our teachers 2018 is one of the stumbling block to enable our teachers move or progressively move up. And this is because that if a teacher wishes to progress or to move up, one has to change to be an administrator when they reach a certain grade, especially the C4 grade. We have entry grades. I'll give an example of secondary school teachers where we have a common cadre, C2 to C3. That is common cadre. But after C3, all the way to chief principals D5, one has to go through competitive interviews. So we do not have now pathways for our classroom teachers to move even to the highest level, the grade in the teaching profession. They have to move to the pathways of an administrator for them to reach the chief principal's grade, because that is the highest. So what we are doing, Chair, to enable our teachers progress, the new career progression guidelines is flexible because we have two pathways. Teachers who are good in class can progress all the way to chief principal, even without moving to become an administrator. And for those willing to take administrative position, they will go all the way to chief principals as well. So we have flexible pathways for the two cadres of teachers. So that alone will open opportunities for our classroom teachers, because we have innovators, we have very good subject teachers in the classroom who can progress to the highest level. Two, Chair, for them not to stagnate, Chair, we'll still have to collaborate together with this house to give us more funding, so that to allow our teachers progress to the highest level. But there are no instant. What Mheshimiwa is asking is to ensure instant promotions. We have no instant promotion except for the entry grades at every level. For primary school teachers, we have B5 to C1. And for secondary school diploma teachers, we have C2 to C1. Those are automatic grades called common cadre. Then C2 to C3, common cadre as well. But other grades are competitive, dependent with the funding and the establishments that are there in the teaching service. Then Honorable Mary has asked about the mental health of our teachers. The mental health of our teachers. What reforms should you champion to ensure that the mental health of our teachers and so that they have psychological support in the teaching service? So, Chair, this is, we acknowledge this concern. It is there in the teaching service. And what we'll advocate for, if approved, Chair, we do have wellness programs at the teaching service, at the TSC headquarters. So these wellness programs, Chair, we will champion to have them up to the county levels or even sub-county levels, because we've seen it helping so many teachers. They are being linked to the hospitals through the health cover for them to be given support, the mental health support, or even they capacity build all the teachers to enable even identify those ones who are at a risk for mental health. So that alone, Chair, and together with the teacher shortage, maybe the workload, TSC must ensure that they really look at the workloads and the teacher shortage that is making the workload of certain teachers so high. So here, we'll still advocate for sustainable funding to enable us to have adequate teachers in the teaching service. Then, Chair, Honorable Tonkei has asked about my transition from management to the strategic policy level and how I will hold to account my colleagues at the management level. So, Chair, I've been in management for 19 years. And if I transition, Chair, I will clearly know the demarcation between what management is supposed to do, because management is to undertakes day-to-day operations, implement policies of the commission, and ensure that we manage the decisions or resolutions of the board at management level. So if I transit, Chair, I will clearly have demarcations on what I'm supposed to do as a commissioner to give strategic direction to management, to ensure that I safeguard the independence of the Teacher Service Commission, to ensure that I oversight management in all operations, and to ensure that we hold management accountable in what they do, using the laws that are in place. So, Chair, I will transit having clear in mind what I'm supposed to be to do as a commissioner, having left management, if this House approves my nomination. Then, Chair, Honorable Taitum has raised a concern on delayed processing of pensions. That is something that has elicited a lot of complaints and concerns from retired teachers. And he has mentioned that there are files getting lost at the Teacher Service Commission, delaying the process. So what reforms am I bringing to ensure that the process is seamless? Chair, as we talk now, I know Teacher Service Commission has made a big progress.
And noting that you are a very senior officer.
Yes.
What do you say about files getting lost? Were you part of the officers making files disappear? And if no, what action did you take to junior officers who are doing that? Because this is a menace to teachers, especially retirees. The moment you retire, the files get lost, and it reappears when you give a fee. What are you doing?
Chair, it's unfortunate, and this is why I'm saying that we need to reform this particular process. Because files, perhaps, files may be imagined or perceived to have lost. We have several directorates at the Teacher Service Commission. We have 10 of them. So because the files are physically used, a file may be in discipline or maybe in staffing or maybe in accounts, but HR in pension division may be looking for this file. So,
but this is 21st century.
Yes.
This is a digital economy. Do you need to move with the physical file? I think we have files on our phones. We can create so many files, and we gave you money. This committee has given the Teacher Service Commissions billions of shillings to digitize, so that in the event that I need a file of Teacher X, you just click the button and you'll know where it is. But every other time the teacher is told your file is nowhere to be seen. Unless you give us something small, then you will retrieve your file. And this is not the first time. It is not starting now. It started many, many years ago. I'm not saying it is starting this year. Several years ago, retirees, and it's good one of your sister mother is here. She must have been a teacher and she must have gone through these processes again. Huh? If actually that is true, even teachers very fast are watching this. This thing is online. And one teacher gave me a situation where he has been waiting for pension for 3 years because the file is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. On the same line.
Yes. Lost files?
Lost files.
Yes.
Even if we are analog, if the file moves from Officer A to Officer D, it is indicated in a book.
Oh, there is a file movement register.
Yes. So the question of a file getting lost is not here or there.
Madam.
Thank you, Chair and members. Chair, that points out with the integrity of officers. If perhaps files get lost because they need a kickback for them to complete the process, it is unfortunate, but Chair, in that regard, the Teacher Service Commission need to strengthen the system's processes or the integrity of the system processes or control systems to ensure that systems themselves protect teachers. And this way, Chair will have to champion the automation of the pension process to have an end-to-end process such that from application, from the clearance, from the entry of the processing of the pension, all the way to the payments, that is Treasury. So if we can get that end-to-end automation of pension process, our teachers could clearly follow up or track the status of their pension. EDMS is what you are saying that, Chair, you've given us money to to automate the teacher's file, which is in the process. So if this process is automated, EDMSs will be used and not the physical file, Chair, so that teachers can be notified, including where the status, and if there is any document that will be missing, the teachers can track in the system all the way to the pension. But first thing, Chair, even before the automation, our teachers, even before they retire, need to be capacity built, because some of these delays arise from maybe a missing document that will be required, that may be required. So capacity building is very key, even as we automate the process.
No, Madam, I think you know very well that this committee resources Teacher Service Commission every time. And I want to thank this committee because most of the policy and programs that you have today actually originated with this committee. You have a number of programs or a number of resources that you have, especially when a teacher is on terminal leave. He is actually almost retiring. And it's a requirement that at least 2 years before he retires, you take him through the retirement process, the documents, what he needs to do, the investments, health, life in retirement, all that. You mean every time we resource you on that, you've never been doing capacity building on the retirement part of a teacher?
Chair, we have been doing. What I'm saying, we'll even strengthen it even more. We've been doing it, but we still have challenges in submission of these documents. So we just want to up the game to ensure that they adhere to what they are taught or they are being told to do before. We still have, despite us doing all those trainings, we still have to have that continuous capacity building
for our teachers. So we've been using the resources as required, Chair.
Member for Teso.
Thank you, Chair. I have two concerns. Number one is on employment of P1 teachers. Chair, whereas we appreciate the employment, the recruitment that has happened over the years, we still have a good number of P1 teachers. And apparently it's like the demand is going down, as in we have enough comprehensive schools teachers as opposed to the junior school. And probably what is needed is rationalization. But the concern is our training institutions continue to graduate students for P1. We have quite a number, some have stayed for over 10 years. What is happening is basically replacement. Opportunities are fewer. So I don't know, as a commission, if you are successful, what would be your advice to the commission? And number two is on promotions. It's an area that still has some gray areas that needs to be relooked into. A case of a junior teacher being promoted or a teacher recently employed who's been lucky because of lack of equity in the manner in which we've done our promotions sometimes, this teacher gets to be promoted and gets to the position of head of institution. And in the same school, there is a teacher who has stagnated for a number of years and now is supposed to be reporting to this new head of institution. There are challenges in such kind of schools in terms of discipline and general management. And that is twofold. On the other hand, there is a teacher who is a head of institution who was trained as a P1, but is the head of institution of this comprehensive school. But we have put junior schools in these comprehensive schools, and you have graduates who have been posted to such schools and are supposed to be answerable to this head of institution. So there are challenges in those kind of institutions. I don't know what policy shifts that you would be championing to address challenges that arise out of, from those situations. Thank you.
Yes, and Madam, I would want you to be very brief, the point, and then so that we move faster. Our time is really moving. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I still did not finish the other questions, so maybe I'll pick up. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Chair, Honorable Mary has talked about three things. One is about the employment of P1 teachers having stayed outside the market for a very long time. And two is about promotions that are not, they are not structured, that even younger teachers are getting promoted before the older teachers. And yes, the policy shift of JS. So, Chair, about the P1 teachers having been out and the opportunities are very low, this arose from the implementation of the new curriculum when we lost class 7 and 8. Now, the 6 classes still had the teachers that were meant for 8 classes. That is where the loss of opportunities for primary school teachers came about, because we had more teachers in primary schools than expected. So that's why the only recruitment we've been having is the replacement of teachers as the exit service. The commission has been undertaking strategic or targeted recruitment where the need is high, that is in junior school, for the last 3 years. So P1 were not as much, the primary school shortage is not as dire as the junior school. That is why we had to have targeted recruitment to fill the shortage that was dire in junior school. That is where the opportunities of our P1 teachers are. So, Chair, the question is, what will you advise so that the P1 teachers get opportunities? What the Commission is doing, Chair,
is to ensure that qualified primary school teachers are deployed to junior school. It has been a continuous process just to create vacancies in primary school teachers, so that primary schools, to enable them get absorbed in primary school. That is a continuous exercise, and we'll continue doing the same, so that primary school teachers can get opportunities to be recruited. On promotions, Chair, it's not structured, nobody can, or younger teachers get promoted before the older teachers. Chair, the reform in teacher promotion lies on end-to-end automation process, so that you can track who has been promoted any year and how, and to what stage, and how many more are stagnating. When we reach there, Chair, you can, people can take audits so that we can identify where the gaps are. So that way, we'll have reformed the teacher promotion process. So that is for Honorable Mary Emase. Then, Chair, there was a question on how to manage conflicts of interests when approved. So, Chair, authority is a public trust given to leaders, where we are required to exercise that authority honestly, with integrity, and within the law. So, Chair, among the issues on how I will manage conflict of interest, I'm required by law to declare where I have interest in. And when I declare interest, Chair, I'm required by law to recuse myself or to remove myself from participating in any decision or even voting where I have interest. And here I will avoid making decisions where I feel that I have conflict of interest, which must be recorded, Chair. That is
procedural.
That is, thank you very much. Then Honorable Jerusha has asked about the Commission having recruited or having undertaken several recruitment processes over the years. And we have a total of 100,000 now having been recruited for the last 3 years. So the concern is, despite the very many multiple recruitment process that this country has undertaken, we are still experiencing teacher shortage in the country, and specifically in junior school and senior school. So the question Honorable Jerusha is asking, why are there still shortages when we have multiple recruitments? Chair, shortages accrue for different reasons. One, we have new schools coming up every other time. There is a continuous establishment of new schools, which adds to the teacher shortage in this country. Number two, Chair, is the enrollments that are swelling in every other time because of the learners that are coming. That also adds to the teacher shortage in the country. Then, Chair, we also have new learning areas. Junior school was not there before 2023. It's a new level that was introduced. So it came with no teacher at all. So when it was domiciled in primary school, Chair, you remember that we had to work so hard to get teachers to these schools. So that alone added the teacher shortage that we had earlier. Then, Chair, the new subjects that are there also. So this, together with the limited funding that is there to recruit all the teachers that we have, continue to have, we still have shortages in the country because of those reasons. So what new ideas will you bring to have all the schools?
Madam Antonina.
Yes, Chair.
There is an allegation that one of the reasons why we have staffing is imbalanced staffing by the commission, owing to officers putting teachers in urban areas and also putting or actually staffing urban centers and their peripheral and not the rural areas. The rural areas are seriously understaffed because the Teacher Service Commission are actually, let me use it, are compromised. The officers are compromised to staff towns, the peripheral areas, and areas that have proper communication at the expense of the rural areas. So what are you doing with that?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we've been
hard to staff areas. There are allegations that there are many teachers in Nairobi, many teachers in, for example, Eldoret, Nakuru, Kisumu, Mombasa, these urban cities, and then the allure of urban allowances, the city's allowances, at the expense of a learner in hard-to-staff areas, Samburu. It is good you are coming from a very difficult area. What are you doing to make sure that very difficult counties, very difficult to staff counties, have teachers, so that you pick them from these cities and take them all the way to the necessary learners who have no teachers?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. What are we doing now that we have a teacher imbalance in this country? There are many teachers in urban areas.
The shortage is artificial. It is said so, because yes, there could be it is not as bad as it should be, as it is, but there is an influx of teachers. If you do a teacher-student ratio in Nairobi, I hope you've done that. Do a teacher ratio in Eldoret City, Nakuru City, Mombasa City, vis-a-vis the countryside. You'll realize we have no shortage, we have an imbalance.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe to start with the teacher-learner ratios. Chair, the Teacher Service Commission do not use teacher-learner ratios to determine the teacher requirement in a school. You can have a class of 26 learners. So if we get to use the teacher-learner ratio, it will mean that we'll only require one teacher to be in this class. That's why the Teacher Service Commission does not use the teacher-learner ratios, because of the situation in this country. Our teachers are trained to teach 2 subjects, especially the post-primary school teachers.
They use CBE.
So what we use is a curriculum-based establishment where we get the total number of lessons per school, plus the shortfalls of all the administrators divided by the minimum workload of every teacher of 27 lessons. So, Chair, if we compute teacher-learner ratios in this country, we may get a perception that we have enough teachers. But, Chair, I appreciate the concern that there are areas where we have more teachers and others have fewer teachers. That means our teaching force is not distributed as required because of what you have mentioned. There are other areas with incentives. Like in urban areas, you have municipality allowance, the accessible areas, but areas where we have hardships have very few teachers. Chair, the first thing we are doing now to ensure that this does not happen, on top of what we normally do to rationalize teachers every other time, because we do rationalize within the counties because of what we agreed on in this house, that we don't need to delocalize teachers from one county to another. We do continuous rationalization of teachers within the county. But to avoid posting teachers where they are not required, we are developing a system, Chair, where posting cannot be allowed by the system where you have a school with enough teachers. So alone, the system itself will deter officers from posting teachers where their need is not required. So, Chair, that is what we are doing. And for us areas, the incentives that are there, will continue championing for the incentives to ensure that they are retained in ASAL areas. Thank you, Chair. Asante.
Yes, you are through?
Chair.
Thank you so much. Members, I think...
just one, a short one.
Yes, yes, very short.
Thank you, Chair. In the past, we have had teachers killed in some parts of the country because they are non-residents. What plans do you have, or will you as a commissioner have, to have teachers from those local areas posted there and the non-locals removed from those hostile areas? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. So, Chair, because the insecurity issue is there. The reason why the Teacher Service Commission had come up with the issue of giving priority to local teachers is because of such situations. So this also applies in the hard to staff, the insecurity areas, giving priority to the locals before we give non-local teachers priority to be recruited. However, because there are some parts which do not have enough local teachers, we still have our teachers seeking opportunities, even in the insecure parts of the country, to have the opportunity to get employed. This, Chair, we don't deter any teacher from seeking opportunities wherever they wish to seek, but we do give them, in case there is an insecurity issue, our officers on the ground to alert us, to give us reports on the security situations to enable us handle the matter administratively. But, Chair, for this, we give local teachers opportunities and priorities across the country.
Yes. I know it is a very, it's a difficult balancing act. You know, we have insecurity, we have the learners to assist, and the country to move forward. And also, but I want to thank you, because I remember in 2016 when we had a number of teachers killed in Mandera and the Northeastern, you took the bold step. First, as a committee, we put pressure on the government to provide security, but you also went on to transfer others who are on very serious risk, which was understandable. But at the same time, we have given, since that time, we have allowed the Northeastern region to continuously recruit the 4 counties of Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, and Lamu, to continuously recruit teachers so that we actually stop that. I think that is a very good move. So with that, I want to thank you. I think we are through. I want to thank you, Madam Antonina. First and foremost, still congratulate you for your appointment as a nominee. And thank you also for a very good career that you've really done very well, from rising through from the classroom, the senior position of a manager in the Teacher Service Commission. So the committee will retreat to write a report, and we shall table the report before the House, and we wish you well. Should you be approved, the members of the House as a plenary will debate, and should you be approved, after our report, now we'll want to say, I want to wish you well as you now serve in your new position as a commissioner, if the House and members will actually approve you. Otherwise, because of your sterling performance and, more importantly, most of the activities, I want to say a lot of things. Asanteni, members, make sure you, before you move, you'll have all your documents. You'll have your documents. And one, I'll also want to allow you to give us a closing remark. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Honorable members. I really appreciate for giving me this opportunity to appear before you in this nomination. Chair, it is a position that, if approved, Chair, I only don't see it as my personal advancement. I see it as I see the promise of the Constitution of Kenya to allow anyone from any background, irrespective of where you are coming from, irrespective of any situation that you are coming from, to serve and contribute to serve this country. So, Chair, I really appreciate and thank you very much. Asante.
Thank you and congratulations, Madam. And I want to thank the members for sitting through this long process since the morning, early morning, and now it's afternoon. Thank you for this. And I want also to say that you are equal to the task, noting that I sat through the Education Committee when we've done a lot of reforms in the teaching service. More importantly, for the ASAL areas, in the recruitment of teachers, you've stood your ground and it has made sure that this government and your time when you are commissioner to have recruited more teachers than any other group of officers in the teaching service. You have, to recruit 100,000 teachers is no mean task. Within a very short time, 4 years, and currently we are planning to recruit another 20,000, meaning that the kind of work the Teacher Service Commission has done in 4 years is more than what other commissioners have done since the inception of the commission. So you have a lot at your hand, and I wish you well. Thank you, and our meeting is over. Asante.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll invite you for lunch. Yes, after this, yes. Asante.